Formula One's back. We're so back. It's been forever since the last time we saw Formula One cars do circles around wiggly lines on tarmac. And we've got a lot to talk about. We've just gone through the agenda, and I've already thought of more things that we've not put on the agenda that have just suddenly come back to my mind of what we thought. Look, it's been years. It's been years since Formula One has happened, and we've got some fun this weekend. My name is Dan, joined by Alex. This is the Lapdown Podcast, the best Formula One podcast in the world that you've not listened to yet. And if you haven't done so, please leave us a 5-star review. Don't care what the words say. Make it funny, make it humorous, make it abusive, or make it nice and kind, and we might read some of them out. But AB, we're so back.
We're so back. I was going to ask, do we need to pause so that you can add more line items to the agenda? Because the agenda already has plenty in it because we're painting, because it's Miami, so there's paint. There's head paint, there's car paint. Oh, we've got new liquids, we've got DJ Khaled, we've got sponsors are in, we've got comic books, we've got exciting bloody news based on something that we talked about last week, which I will implore you all to stay till later in the podcast for us to talk about that, because that is a genuine excitement. That's not even I'm not making faux excitement here. That's real business. Facts. And most of all, we actually get to do car things on roads. We're not, technically it's a road, isn't it? It's not even a track. Yeah. It's sort of a roady tracky bit. And we're sprinting as well. Just bloody hell. It's all happening. Where do we start?
We've got super picking to do as well for the first time in 3 years.
To do. Yes,
which is great. And I can sit here as the official positivity pod of Formula One in 2026 and say I have never been more excited about watching cars go around a stadium parking lot as I have for what's going to happen this weekend in Miami.
Ooh, I liked that accent. Can you do that accent for the entirety of the pod, please?
Can't guarantee it. Might pop in, might pop out. You just never know.
Excellent. Where do we begin on this? We should probably talk about the fact that we're sprinting this weekend, because that feels really rude by Formula One. I appreciate that they didn't really have a say in the fact that they did. They decided to cancel, but it wasn't their fault that we didn't do the last two race weekends. It would have put a little bit more action in between them. But to come off the back of a catch-up window, unofficial spring break, and then straight into sprinting. Oh, it's devilish. It's devious, Seymour.
Yeah. I look, we are the Positivity Podcast, and I think we do have to look for the positives here. And this is fun. The war in Iran has created a perfect storm for the sprint here in Miami this weekend. There's not a lot of positivity to take away from what's going on over there in the Middle East with the more expensive it is now to fill your tank of fuel up, which is about the only thing that we all get affected by as normal human beings. But the fact that we're sprinting we got excited about the Chinese one because we had 1 week of sprint and then we were like, oh, this is nasty. Now we've had 5 weeks off and we're going, sprint straight away. I think this is more fun, more whimsical than the Chinese sprint race that we had a couple of weeks, 3 years ago now.
Yes, I would agree, particularly because it's going to absolutely shit it down in Miami on Sunday, if you believe the forecast. We have got a forecast of scattered thunderstorms. It's not even rain, it's thunderstorms. Now, the T word does worry me slightly because that sounds an awful lot like a delayed start to me as soon as they see one flash of lightning. I'm not arguing with that safety thing. I get it. It's the same in cricket. It's the same in all sports. Fine. But also, get me wet. Get me wet in Miami, and I am ready to go. If I've been sprinting into Sunday wetness, excited giggling.
There's a lot of alone time that you're going to need, isn't there, during the course of the weekend to compose yourself through the course of the enjoyment. I've got a question that is nothing to do with paint or nothing to do with anything that we're really, really specialists in talking about. But we've dubbed this as the catch-up window. There's no evidence to suggest that anything has happened. But do you think any teams have done catching up?
You'd bloody hope so. We're in strife if they haven't.
I mean, does any team... Go on, pick me a team that you think has done some catching up.
I'd like to believe that Red Bull and Ferrari were close enough, and McLaren is sort of a separate thing. McLaren have been very quiet this year, I think,
Well, they've
across
been
the
golf
board.
clubs, haven't they?
Yeah, and everything else. They've been making Lando and Oscar act now. I saw in some social stuff. That tremendous. I feel like Ferrari were close enough. Ferrari had a test day, filming day. That's not a test day. Can't do testing, but you can film yourself while you're driving the car and do some testing style day, which bodes well. And I think I saw something that there was a percentage, and I'm not actually going to give a number because someone will citation me on it. But it was like they're going to change like 45% of the car or something. It was a shockingly high number that yes.
Wow, that sounds like a disaster, doesn't it?
It was a shockingly high number that I probably should have remembered because I host a Formula One podcast and it's kind of interesting. But it was a high number that I was like, as you've just done, that sounds like a lot for a team that's not that far away. Like, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can quickly. You talk for a bit, and I'll see if I can work out if I can find this article.
I think I only really have to say really what you've just said. It is a remarkably high number for a team that were kind of pottering around as the second fastest team on the grid. So either that means that they will now become the 13th fastest team on the grid, or they're going to be like absolute rocket ships, and Mercedes are going to be a distant three-pronged star in their tiny rearview mirrors. So, but knowing how Ferrari engineers and strategists
got there eventually.
We're making words up on the podcast. What I will say is I don't think I might not have said something that was right. However, I feel as though I could have hit that square peg hard enough to get it into a round hole.
Yeah.
Statisticians.
I'll take it. I've found a quote. It is from an Italian news outlet, Corriere della Sera, which they're getting their words right in Italy. Ferrari will bring at least half a modified car. So, look, I take it however you want, but the outlet also reports that it will give them a few tenths. I will tell you that, again, Italian outlet, so I'm taking a big old pinch of salt into my bolognese. But, big changes for Ferrari. Yeah. So you would hope to see some movement from them. I feel like McLaren have already had us on this path slightly of... Am I right in saying, again, citation needed, they've sort of said from the start that we've got big changes coming soonish, which they've done this before, that they've sort of started at a car that's, fine. And then all of a sudden, because they were working on the absolute rocket ship. So I think they would hopefully have something that you'd like to think, pull something out of the bag. You got the right engine in the car. And then Red Bull, I mean, it's Red Bull, right? I still have a little bit of that feeling that they should be really good. There must be someone in Milton Keynes that's found a secret source of some description, despite all the changes with their team setup, that you'd like to think they've pulled something out of the bag. It's going to be exactly
at the back
the same,
of
isn't
the
it?
like spice cupboard or something somewhere, just to figure it out. There's two teams that I want to have sorted themselves out. One being Williams. I've been, and I think a lot have, thoroughly disappointed by Williams over those kind of 3 pre-season races that we had 3 years ago. So it would be nice if they have managed to figure themselves out. I don't know the likelihood of them being able to do that or not. I don't really know. And the other one as well is that I think we're kind of desperate to see some improvement from is going to be Aston Martin. I know they've been maybe a little bit more reliable than what we thought they were going to be. But to think that they were that far off the pace has been quite poor. What we do know is the fact that, or at least what we know so far, is Aston Martin have pretty much put all of the blame on Honda. They've not taken any ownership on their car whatsoever, other than the fact that thing that makes it go vroom. So what we don't know yet, and it does look remarkably different to the other Formula One cars, is it an Aston Martin thing? Is it a Honda thing? Because neither of these guys are particularly going to want to have fingers pointed at themselves as to where their performance is. But I'd like to see those two teams show a little bit of an uptick after their 5 weeks off. And surely they've been doing something.
You'd like to hope. I will look, Posy Pod. I enjoy the thing that we do now where both of us just say Posy Pod before just ruining dreams. But if you say Posy Pod, it's like saying no offense before you say something that's just incredibly offensive and rude to someone. Like, no offense, but you look like shit today. That's entirely offensive. No offense, Posy Pod. I read something that these ADUO rules, the ADUO rules are around engine performance development, because we're still sort of in an engine freezy type thing. It's the Additional Development Upgrade Opportunities Program, which has been granted to pretty much everyone that's not running a Mercedes engine to try and make them get a little bit closer.
Yep.
There's already talk that Honda is going to be given 2 A2O windows because they are so far behind on the engine that they haven't even finished their first upgrade opportunity, and we're already saying they might need another one to make them close to being competitive. I saw like a 4% number or something like that there is the target gains or something like that, but it's alarming, it's bizarre, it's weird that obviously Red Bull had so much success with a combined Honda sort of power unit that I believe they did some work on, Honda did some work on. Honda's gone away and do it themselves, Red Bull have gone away and do it themselves, and the ones that you would expect to struggle are flying, and the chat is that maybe their engine might actually be as good as Mercedes already, they just haven't quite worked out the rest of it and weight and all that. Yeah. And then you've got Honda, who are Honda. Now you think, like, who's going to make a good engine? It's probably Honda in this kind of thing. Apparently not. But, I mean, what even is a good result for Aston Martin for you? Like, short term, what does Dan Jads need to see, Posy Pod, for Aston, for you not to be upset?
I think you've got to see them in a lower midfield battle. I don't even think they've been in a lower midfield battle so far this year. I think they've been very much
finished
kind of
a race this year.
Fairly sure. They might have been about 8 laps down at various different points, but yes, I think they have. Just don't necessarily know what that actually translates to as a good thing. And I don't know. Who knows? I just hope. I'm hopeful because I'm positive.
Yes. Yeah, because we're the Posy Pod. That's why.
Correct.
Yeah. Before we get into paint, should we do a little bit of team radio? Because we've got some team radio from the last episode that we did. It's from Dan 2. It's from the official bubbly energy partner of the pod. So let's see what he's got to say. It's about rules. It's about our technical chat from last week. Here comes Dan. First of all, a little bit of AOB to follow up.
Dan sounds a lot like Alex.
We talked about the fact that Red Bull have just been pissing about in the catch-up window and doing things for show cars. Now, we have a slight inside line with Dan too. He is privy to some workings as the official bubbly energy partner of the podcast. And he's given us an official scoop on that. He said, and I quote, "If I'm being honest, I don't have a fucking clue why we stuck a car on the railway tracks or why we were messing about in a Tesco." Perfect. That's all we needed. That's the level of detail that we need for that. That's how much thinking went into it. Right now, he says, and I will warn you, a lot of the next 5 minutes of this pod are going to be me quoting Dan. So we'll go in little breaks because he's broken each rule change down. Qualifying rule changes. Sounds to me like this isn't fixing the real issue and is just trying to find a way to make shit clipping less noticeable. My solution, do better. Which,
agreed.
Yes, I think tick it off. That's in the great bin. We're all aligned on that. Yep. Race start changes, absolute horse shit. Now, you can see why Dan 2 is an official partner of the pod. He says, "My solution, until we can implement a comprehensive rule change that eliminates ship clipping and low battery charge at race starts, implement rolling race starts. Ooh. Formation lap as standard, charge the battery as cars cross a line, probably further back down the pit lane straight than a traditional start line. Racing can begin. No battery deployment on lap 1, stops insane closing speeds and ensures full batteries for lap 2. Dan, discuss."
It's a less extreme solution that I put together of making a starting grid that's 22 cars wide. Mm-hmm. It could work. I don't see it working. Oh, sorry, not the sake that I don't see it working, because evidently it does work. We have safety car restarts all the time. I don't see it being implemented, but I don't hate it.
Yes. He does go on to say, "I know what F1 purists will say," and I can hear Dan J whimpering into his hands as he rocks back and forth in the corner of a dark room. So he's got that wrong, because you're
I think I've disappointed you there, Dan, too.
However, if we're making changes under the name of safety, we cannot allow driver assist to skirt over driver errors and skill gaps. It's the pinnacle of motorsport, and a lack of skill must be detrimental to a driver's race performance, results, and the driver of the day percentage. I'm well aware rolling starts could not possibly be introduced, because that would be a giant neon arrow pointing at the FIA and FOM saying these guys got it wrong. And honestly, what was wrong with a screaming engine turning wheels on a car? I can't hide how negative this is getting at this point. I'll make sure to say good morning to every person I walk past next week on the way into London to rebalance my posy-neggy balance. So, excellent there from Dan.
Phenomenal. I do think there's a lot to be said about the what's wrong with screaming engines making wheels go round. There is, it feels, and I'm no expert, I will stress, but it feels like there's something in that.
Yes. There's,
could be.
Look,
worth investigating further.
Haven't they? There has been a little bit of a rumbling come out of the catch-up window that they are looking at the engine rules possibly for next year and whether we have sort of some more wholesale changes. But I think there's also a lot of talk at the minute. It's like what our friend Mohammed bin Sulayem likes to do, that whenever there's a little bit of heat on him,
touch Lando
just
hair.
Come out and talk about V10s again. Like, it's as soon as there's negative press, tell you what, V10s, wouldn't mind them. Does it ever happen? No. But you can just dangle that carrot every now and then. Whoa! Oh, is basically what he's doing. And then finally, racing changes. This is where me and you, I'll admit, having gone back and edited last week's show, our technical understanding, which is very high, did start to trail off a little bit in last week's episode. Yes. So let's hope that Dan might have a little bit of assistance for us here.
I feel as though we might have lost the back end of it going into a corner and ended up in a never-ending spin of chaos, which slowly but surely careered its way towards a crash barrier, of which we ended up covered in gravel, upside down, and in all manner of kind of, because it probably a big water splash because the rain kind of picks up in the it was a mess. It was a mess.
Right. So here's what Dan's got to say, and this might help us. Racing changes actually sounds sensible. As far as I understand it, the difference between minimum power output and maximum power output is reduced, lessening the chance of very high closing speeds for cars at either end of the power deployment spectrum. But to Dan's point on overtaking getting harder, I think overtaking has evolved with this new rule set, and a driver's approach to overtaking the car requires certain differences. I don't necessarily think it's harder. I think it's completely different to any other era of F1. If I may use an analogy, and this is now getting very lapped down, what we're going to get here. If you gave a Victorian person a microwave and told them they had to use that to make mashed potato, they would likely see it as a harder way of doing a task that they already know how to do, because the understanding of the hardware around the technique just isn't there right now. That analogy may be bullshit and could cost me levels of standing within the Lapdown Pod community, but hopefully it lands. I get what he's saying. It's a different machine that you've got now. The machine, in theory, should be able to do something better, but you just need to learn how to do it. You making your mash in the microwave, Dan? Just to pick up the most important points out of this?
No, I mean, the most important thing I could kind of find out is to whether Victorians were mashing their potatoes or not.
Surely they were.
Well, I don't know. I've just done a little bit of a Google search on it, and apparently potato consumption was extremely high in Victorian times.
Potato cunts were extremely high in Victorian times.
Correct. Well, yeah, it's quite likely. Particularly among working classes and the poor.
Okay.
So that would have been us. We would have been eating potatoes.
Yeah.
Where they were a staple food served with most meals. While specific figures for mashed potatoes alone are not tracked, potatoes were consumed in vast quantities, often boiled or mashed to accompany cheap meat or as a standalone meal. So yeah, they were.
But not with
apparently
microwaves.
The lumper potato was a popular variety in Victorian time because it was high yielding.
Do we still get lumpers in 2026?
I mean, I've never, I don't think I've ever seen a lumper potato on the shelves of any supermarket that I've ever frequented.
I feel like the Americans go harder on naming their and buying a specific potato than we do in the UK.
Yeah.
I think we just go colour based, and then within that, God knows what you're getting in your bag. It does say on the back, but you've not bought it.
Where do you stand on mashed potatoes? Good or bad? Not a fan? Okay.
I just feel like it's like a Jackie potato for me. I do not understand the fascination with the jacket potato, and I will die on this hill, because when people have a jacket potato, they don't want a jacket potato. They want the things that they're putting on top of a jacket potato. So they want cheesy beans, but they feel bad about just having a bowl with beans and cheese in it. So they bake a potato, put it on that essentially as a second bowl to try and feel better about themselves. Just have cheese and beans, lads. It's fine.
Okay.
Have a load of sour cream, bacon bits, and cheese for all I care. Don't lie about the fact that you actually like a jacket potato. It's not offering me anything. It's like Lance Stroll in F1. Lance Stroll is the jacket potato of F1. There's your clip. Am I wrong?
Oh, you're not, but it doesn't feel very positive.
No, this is true. We need some positivity. We maybe should have a like a positivity safety car where racing has to stop for like a lap.
A PSC.
So positivity, yes, a PSC.
We're going under PSC.
We're going under PSC conditions for 1 minute per podcast, and one of us just gets to take advantage of the PSC.
I like this.
Right?
I'll update the notes.
Yes, we'll implement that for next week. Who gets the PSC? But thank you, Dan, for sending in. I mean, that made more sense than previously, and it's nice to know that I don't think we were massively wide of the mark there with our technical chat. Dan will be back later in the pod as we get into paint as well, because we have a second bit of team radio from Dan. So he will return in a little bit.
Good.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about as we build into Sprunty weekend in Miami?
There's a lot. I'd like to talk about clothes.
Please do.
Because we all have to wear, well, I suppose we don't all have to wear them, but it is socially accepted and socially kind of required that you do wear them at regular times. And we know that Formula One merchandise can be varying in the levels of quality that you and I both kind of enjoy our clothing. And also the other thing is it's normally quite expensive. So we are recording this at 15:35 on Thursday afternoon in the UK, and I dare say there will be more special helmets, special T-shirts, special caps, special paint jobs, and all this other stuff that will become live ahead of tomorrow when they start practicing around the car park. I want to start with Alpine, because they had their partnership with, was it TK Maxx or Primark or something, and everything. Primark. And we looked at it and we went, it's not bad, actually. Like, not stunning, but price-wise, good. I like that. They have done some Miami GP official merchandise, and they've got 2 T-shirts out and a cap, which I guess you could say are kind of Miami-related colors. I don't know how many flamingos you get around the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, but there we go. I want to talk to you about the hoodie.
Yes.
£67 for a hoodie, and it's got something called an NFC tag in it. What is it?
Well, I can tell you it's in partnership with End State. And to quote their website, their tech-enabled sneakers and apparel enhance engagement with art through unique on-site and online experiences.
Sick.
Yep. That's what I want from a hoodie.
Yeah.
So basically, what I will say, first of all, it's quite a nice hoodie, and the shirt's quite nice as well. I'm not paying £40 for a shirt and £67 for a hoodie, but it's quite nice. Dan's counting.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not counting. I'm just reading. I'll go on and add to this. Equipped with NFC technology, tap the hem tag with your mobile phone to unlock exclusive benefits throughout the season. What? I'd like to know some information about what these exclusive benefits are before I go and spend £67 on a hoodie. If exclusive benefits include things like, there's a chance that you could win a pair of tickets to the Silverstone Grand Prix, or you're going to be entered, you tap away once a week and there's a chance to win a video call with Franco Colapinto or something like that. That doesn't sound awful. If it's tap your sleeve and here's a wallpaper, your phone that you don't want, then I'm struggling a bit. So £67 for one of those. Ferrari have got some new stuff out, and they have launched a range of white T-shirts and polo shirts and a white jacket, the Windbreaker, coming in at a fairly reasonable £315. Which,
sorry, and again?
£315 for a Windbreaker.
PSC deployed. What the fuck, first of all? It better keep me safe in the Arctic for £315.
No, it's just a Windbreaker.
How strong is the wind that I need £315 worth of breaker for it? Oh, no. I retract all of my hope that they're going to be quicker this weekend now.
So much of this goes off on various different tangents, but apparently you can get for £260 on the official Ferrari website. This is nothing to do with Miami, and this won't take long to divulge, but a scuba vest
A Scuderia Ferrari. Scuderia Ferrari.
Yep, correct. But
There it is.
But
I'll have it now.
I mean, I don't know whether this is the pricing here. Just everything feels wrong. It feels massively wrong because a T-shirt here is £100, which is disgusting to start with.
Right.
However, from a T-shirt to £315 to a jacket, the T-shirt sounds quite reasonable. And then when you put it next to the baseball cap, the T-shirt sounds like a bargain because the baseball cap is £80.
Hang on. Hang on. Hold, please.
0.
Ready?
Vai a fanculo.
That's get to fuck in Italian.
Yeah.
No, I'm not paying £80 for a hat. That's actually... No. I detest £80 for a hat of any brand. I understand how luxury brands work. It's daft. They all come from the same factory. They were all made by the same children. But Ferrari sports merchandise is not a luxury brand in the same way. I mean, the Alpine hat is £39. That is still too much money, but I don't like myself saying this. I'm willing to allow a £39 hat because I appreciate everyone in the chain needs to make a bit of money.
Yep.
Whatever, right? It's a treat. How can the Ferrari hat be worth double an Alpine hat if we put aside on-track performance?
Well, if you take that away, you probably can't. But
Has it got an NFC tag in it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It doesn't give much details away, to be fair, so you're not really going for much. But I did just have a quick look on Alibaba.com, which is kind of where a lot of these places are going to be getting these wholesale things from. And the first one that's popped up here, high quality, vintage, green, laser perforated performance rope baseball cap. So just, I don't know, it's got some words. You can get them from as little as $1.90 per item. That is an obscene markup that's been put together. And it's, quite frankly, that's disgusting.
What I'll say before anyone gets in the comments goes, how do you think it works? We're not surprised by the fact that it's £80 or not understanding why the retail price of that cap is £80. We're just disgusted by it. So we're not implying the cap should be $2 like you can get them from Alibaba. But that's just such a... I think we've talked about this before. The disconnection of, reality and fans, and just you're rinsing your own fan base. That's what's annoying with it. People would like to have your caps, I'm sure. I quite like a lot of this F1 merch that comes out, and I'm a little bit of a team nomad. Like, I probably prefer it when McLaren win, but there was that Qatar Mercedes special shirt, which was a bit rogue and a bit funky. Quite liked it. Would happily wear that to the gym. If it was £25, I probably would have gone, you know what? I'll have one of them. And then this Alpine shirt, quite a nice T-shirt. Quite like the colour, like the little bird and oranges design or whatever. £25, I might have gone, you know what? Yeah. £40, you're already out. And then £100 at Ferrari, you're doubly out. Beyond out. You're via fanculo.
I think living in the UK, the only reasonable thing that you can purchase there is the Ferrari windbreaker for £315 because £40 to stick a T-shirt under a jumper is going to be expensive, and you don't get many days where you need to wear a baseball cap. I just want to finish off the merchandise thing, and this is more of a hypothetical thing that I have no science to back this up on, but I would think that the majority of Formula One fans are probably working class. Like motorsport, to watch it as a spectator, I think is a working class thing. If you go back in time, and I still think it has those kind of origins in it. It clearly isn't a working class thing if you're going to be a racing driver. And it clearly isn't a working class thing if you've got like some shiny paddock pass on your neck or wrist or whatever it is, or on a Grand Prix you're going for. My issue that I've got here that I feel becomes a bit disconnected. I feel the people that you see wearing this stuff in the paddock, on the grids, in the VIP hospitality boxes, have probably just been given these hats for nothing. Yeah. And I don't think any of the working class human being, i.e. myself and you, have ever gone to a shop and gone, I want to spend £80 on a baseball cap, please. So I don't I'm really struggling to see I'd love to see some numbers on how many they sell, like honest numbers, not like kind of we've spun these to make ourselves look good as how we've done this, but I want to see honest numbers at how many of these units that they sell for each of these weekends, because it blows my mind to think that anybody is walking away with a £315 Ferrari windbreaker.
Yeah, the expensive hats, and it does the rounds every year, doesn't it? Like people take pictures of the merch stalls at a Grand Prix and be like, what the fuck, hats are $50. Irritatingly, people are buying them, and that's no shade on the people that do buy them either. That's not us saying that they do anything wrong. They really like something, they're really invested in it, spend your money how you want. It's just a shame that people are being rinsed, and they're being rinsed because they will buy it, and it's all, circular, isn't it? But yeah, the windbreaker, or indeed if we go back a couple of weeks to the Mercedes balaclava situation.
Yeah.
It's interesting how many of those are they realistically expecting to sell? What is their break even on these? What's their order quantities? That I appreciate we're making at this point, something funky about a shirt become very boring economics chat, but it would be fascinating to know. I don't suggest that we probably have anyone that works within an F1 team in merchandising that could possibly know. But if you are there and you wish to contact Team Radio at Lapdown Pod under the cover of anonymity to give us some sort of insight into how many £340 Ferrari windbreakers would actually be ordered from the factory initially, genuinely would like to know. Genuinely.
Yeah. No, I would. It fascinates me. Anyway, shall we talk about paint now? Because we're quite good at talking about paint. Let's talk about Alpine first. Because this will be the easy bit. We're currently 53 seconds past the 31-minute mark of the podcast. So they've added a yellow stripe. And shall we talk about Cadillac now?
Guess what? Franco's sponsor's back again. It looks fine, doesn't it? It maybe makes the livery slightly more exciting. I don't think Alpine's livery is either offensive or exciting, so it's a little bit of extra jazz. It keeps the former preferred driver of the Lapdown Pod in a seat. So... welcome back, Mercado Libre.
Nice.
Cadillac. I don't know how I feel about the Cadillac livery. I think I like it, but then I'm not excited by it. It's sort of, it's just there, and I don't think if I hadn't been told ahead of the weekend they're running a special edition livery, I think it might have taken a while into the broadcast before I went, that looks different. Well,
I don't think the rear wing's doing a lot of heavy lifting for the livery. Yes. And I don't think we're going to see many camera shots of cars closing up to the back of the rear wing of a Cadillac.
With the blue flags?
No. The font for USA feels wrong. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right, and I can't quite put my finger on. I don't know if it might. Do you know it might be the spacing between the characters? Now I've had a bit of a closer look at it. That is poor. And if the rest of the livery was like the rear wing, or sorry, not even the rear wing, sorry, the bit of the rear wing that folds up and down, because the rest of the rear wing's exactly the same, then I think we could be having a very good conversation about this. However, I don't even. Cadillac aren't proud to be American.
Oh, there's your clip.
There you go. Stick that one in your American pipes and smoke it. Cadillac, all of our American listeners out there, Cadillac hate you. This is an opportunity for them to go full stars and stripes, full star-spangled banners, bells and whistles, everything that you could possibly wish to get. First American Grand Prix as a new team, a new American team, and they go, we'll just, I don't know, should we just put USA on the back and, I don't know, give it a bit of blue and some red? Yeah, that'll do, won't it? It's pathetic.
I would like to see if they brought that blue and red onto the sides, we could be having a different conversation. I think I can see a situation here where Cadillac have decided they're going to largely abandon colour on liveries for the year, which does limit them somewhat on making exciting liveries. What I will say about the Cadillac livery, I don't know if you've noticed this about the Cadillac livery, but they have the wrong number of stars on the front for an American livery. I mean, let me put it this way. If you were an American team at your first American Grand Prix and you were going to do a livery that was covered in a flaggy stars and stripey kind of theme, and you were going to put a load of stars on the front wing, how many would you put on there?
The right number, which I think last time I checked is 51, isn't it?
So you wouldn't just put 60 on there for the fuck of it?
I don't think so. It feels like something that ChatGPT would put together.
It's too close to the right number. Like, either cover the whole front wing end to end in stars and have like 114 on there or something that you're miles away, or have the right number of stars for your spangled front wing, surely.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there we go.
I'm not sure about that. Also, loving the word spangled. We don't use spangled
It's nice,
enough.
Look, all the while that Cadillac keep fumbling the bag with their USA liveries, I feel spangled is going to be used a lot during the course of the season. And I think that does just confirm the fact that the Cadillac are anti-American.
Yeah, you're doubling down, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Doubling down, and I'm all for it.
VCARB.
Yeah, they're back.
VCARB.
The boys are back.
How easy is it when you solely operate as an advertising business for some energy drinks to create a pretty cool livery?
Yeah. Can I introduce the livery to the pod? I've brought a little bit of show and tell as the livery was officially introduced to the world.
Nice.
DJ Khaled's here, everyone.
Look, let me show you the race car. It's F1 weekend. It's Red Bull. It's summer edition.
It's not Red Bull.
When you see this, think summer. When you see this, think greatness. When you see... Matter of fact, come get the logo. Quick, 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 quick. Tell them to bring out the Red Bull. Tell them to bring out the Red Bull. Summer's ours. Red Bull, summer edition. Let's go racing. Look,
Right,
let me show
now,
you the...
Mr. Khaled.
You cut him off. He was still going.
No, it looped again. He was
okay.
just going to start talking again.
Could have fooled me.
Not Red Bull, though, DJ. VCARB. Different team. Not the Red Bull livery. You've just said the words Red Bull over and over again. They're not Red Bull. They're the Racing Bulls, first of all. But it's summer. It's ours, etc.
I think you can forgive him for being confused, though.
It's an easily confused man.
No, just generally. I think you can forgive DJ Khaled for being confused that VCARB isn't a Red Bull team.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
It is a sexy livery, though.
It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see? I mean, even the video bit, everything was very stimulating, and I feel stimulated by DJ Khaled there, even for different reasons. I don't necessarily think I need to go under PSC conditions here, but
yeah,
Liam Lawson and Arvin Lindblad just sat on the middle of a lake on jet skis with some random wakeboarder doing a backflip over the top of it, catching I'll call it a rug, and pulling the rug off into the water with the car on a floating barge in the middle of a lake that just reveals the livery. Who thinks this through? I consider myself to be quite a creative person.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know how much LSD or other things I would need to have taken before I suddenly start piecing all of these things together. It's like they've gone to a jigsaw puzzle shop, bought 18 different jigsaws, gone home, emptied them all out on the table, got a hammer and slapped it all together and gone, done. It's amazing, but it works.
Yeah, it's doing a livery properly. We've talked about this on the pod before, but if you're going to do a special edition livery, make it it's not even that far away from their normal livery, just color-wise, but make it so far away from your normal livery that it does actually feel outrageous. And it's nice to have full yellow back on the grid again. There's just not enough yellow going around.
Yep.
The one thing I will say about the VCARB livery, and it is very nice, but the team kit is a bit Bukaki-esque again. And we've got a problem in F1 recently where there's just a lot of jizz-based merch. We had the Ferrari one last year. This VCARB shirt just makes it look like Liam Lawson has been absolutely painted on a Freshers' Night Out. And I don't understand what it's meant to be. Is it just meant to be water? But why did it have to be so concentrated? It's like they've missed their mouth drinking a glass of milk. I don't understand what they're going for, Daniel. I don't get it. Looks nice though.
No, it's still the Positivity Podcast. Again, I don't think maybe this is something we can have at the end of the year. Which one singular piece of Formula One merchandise from the course of the season would we actually purchase? I really like the car. The t-shirts aren't doing much for me. Actually, and there's a lot of thirst trap information going on here as well. And when you look at Lawson and Lindblad on the barge with the car as well, in their VCARB scuba vests, then the scuba vests, I think, probably are slightly more appropriate than the t-shirts. But I agree with you. There is a lot of Bonnie Blue going on with the VCARB t-shirts this time around, which I don't. Yeah. Is there something going on in Formula One that we're just not aware of? Is this being covered in other Formula One podcasts that we just haven't had the memo for? I'm a bit confused.
I think we might be the main source of F1 based discussion. I think. Yeah. I don't feel like we're late to the discussion there in terms of other podcasts. I mean, far be it from us to talk about other pods, but I don't think it's P-Cum with Matt and Tommy. So I think we're probably the first to break this news. I'm going to get Dan too to save us because we've got some more team radio. He says he has a slight problem with previous VCARB liveries, not necessarily, but he said I'm slightly irritated by the fact we've just had the VCARB Japanese Grand Prix Spring Edition livery. I say just, I feel like it was a year ago, but it was relatively recent. But firstly, this new livery is now unique. The Japan livery was good, but it harks back to the 2025 Red Bull Racing Japanese Grand Prix livery. We haven't seen a yellow livery since the days of Jordan. The 2022-23 Ferrari had a splash of yellow. Renault 2016 to 2020 was a split of yellow and blue. I will not be accepting comments on this. Secondly, it is beautiful. It's an angry hornet of a car with the black accents only helping. I will not accept it looks like a JCB paint job and will only supply hex codes if required. Thirdly, the launch. As you said, Dan. DJ Khaled, Lawblad on jet skis, wave surfing, crowd on a fun run. I rest my case, Your Honours. I point for me, if you will. I dare the gods of F1 to allow there to be a better livery this year. It's bold. It is bold from Dan. And then he signs off with some official partner duties on the bottom, which may become evident at some point in the near future. But I think we're all agreed that yellow bangs and this livery looks great. Is I think the summary of what we've been through.
It does look good. I think VCARB stand a chance at trumping this livery later on in the year, depending on what winter editions or autumn editions that they may have. We're obviously going to have, teams, as we know, are obligated to provide special liveries for all three of the US Grand Prix. So they do have more chances and more opportunities. So I think there's chance, but yeah, this is the best in a long time. I have to say, I really do. I think this is a stunning car. And it's only adding to the appetite and the zestiness of how I feel about the Miami Grand Prix this weekend.
Look at this. This guy's read the marketing materials.
Yeah.
This guy's read the marketing materials. Right, should we talk about Max Verstappen's helmet?
Yeah, why not? It doesn't feel like we talk about Max Verstappen's helmet enough on this podcast.
Hey, to be fair, I feel like this is the first time that I can remember recently, apart from maybe when he did the gold one after he won it. But yeah, this is actually like a jazzy helmet from Max for once. He's usually a little bit more reserved with his helmets, but he's pushed the boat out a little bit more here than usual, it feels.
Yeah. I don't want to be unkind because I know that there are a lot of people that do enjoy the Max Verstappen. You don't get the impression that personality is particularly high on his list of things that he decides to show over the course of a weekend, do you? It's very much check in with his time card, stamp it in at the weekend, get the shit done, clock out at the end of it, and go home and play video games or race whatever car you can find around the Nürburgring with your mates. This, I don't know, has he been held captive? Or is this what happens when you give Max Verstappen 5 weeks off? Does he just turn up with going, well, I had to do something over the 5 weeks, so I've painted my helmet purple?
Or do you think they even told him it was happening? He's been away doing sim racing and his 24-hour racing and that sort of thing. And in the meanwhile, the marketing department's got hold of his helmet and like, oh yeah, Max won't notice. It'll be fine. He just puts the helmet on. He'll race. He won't even notice it's this funky color. Yeah. But it's nice.
Would you like a 1 to 2 model of the helmet?
This is already going to upset me, isn't it?
Just no. Well, it might do. I don't know. Not compared to a windbreaker. It's a bargain at 155 quid. Completely like unusable. But how small of a person would you have to be before you could start legitimately wearing a 1 in 2 scale model of a Formula One helmet?
I'm not sure that even goes on an infant's head, does it? I don't think you can, because their head's too soft. It'll come out like shaped like the helmet. So I think I don't think they're actually ever being worn. You could fist it, I guess.
Yeah, of course you could. Yes. Don't forget. We are trying to, or we are doing our best to remain good and clean for various kind of.
Oh yes, sorry, brand safety.
Kind of things. Sorry.
We talked about
before you go around and start suggesting you're about to fist Max Verstappen's helmet. I suggest we just take a citation on that and we move on from it quite quickly. But it is a nice helmet. It's a bit weird the fact that his is the only one really that we've seen so far. It feels like a lot of people would have been. Has there been others?
No, I don't think there has. With the accelerated timeline as well of it being a sprinter, you would have thought we'd have pulled forward by now. We actually left this recording slightly later this week in the hopes we would have had more paint, and we haven't. So, but there you go. All the paint we've had. I get that Cadillac's is underwhelming and Alpine's is underwhelming. Alpine's isn't really a special livery though, is it? But
no,
it's all kind of nice. There's no stinkers. Yeah, there's no stinkers going on. It's just all fine. But it's just VCARB on top by a long way and then everyone else sort of well underneath.
Yeah, so everything else is all right. And VCARB is stunning.
Yes, I would agree.
Wonderful.
I would agree.
Happy days.
Hey, Dan, have you ever wanted to read a comic book where James Vowles tackles Doctor Doom?
No.
Guess what? Got good news. You can.
Oh, good.
Why? Williams have partnered with Marvel, which is going to see, quote, the iconic F1 team go wheel to wheel with the Marvel universe for the first time in a comic book one-shot. I don't know what that means. I'm not a comic book guy. Drivers Alex Albon. Just means
a single edition.
Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz and team principal James Vowles are going to be taking on Doctor Doom.
Yeah. Good.
In the midst of the racing season, Iron Man, Black Widow, Captain America, and a host of other Marvel stars will also support the team on their mission.
What is their mission?
Do
I need to read the comic book to find that out?
Not finish last, I guess. But disappointingly for Marvel, they've not been given an official title. They're not the official comic book partner. They're just joined. It just says Williams is joining the Marvel universe.
How many comic book producers are Williams operating with for Marvel not to be an official comic book partner?
Who knows? But I am very excited to see the human embodiment of LinkedIn try and battle Doctor Doom and just speak to him solely through analogies.
I don't know if you're going to be able to. Because it says something about the fact it's going to be on shelves at comic book shops across the US in October.
Okay.
But the pre-order price is £12.50.
That's as far as F1 merch goes, considerably more reasonable.
You could wear it on your head as a hat if you wanted to.
You could. Yes, you could break the wind with it.
Oh, no, you can ship it to the UK. You just couldn't buy it from a comic book store in the UK.
Perfect. Fine then. Can I illegally download a PDF of it?
Probably.
You wouldn't download a comic book. Wouldn't dare. You wouldn't download a car.
I would if I could.
Someone hasn't seen the old anti-piracy ads, and it shows. Right. How are we getting on? The exciting update. That's all that's left on the agenda now before we go super picking.
Yes.
I've had an email, Dan.
No way.
After last week, we talked about the fact that you can just buy an F1 show car. They're just available for sale. You could just get one. I've had an email from F1 Authentics. And before you get excited... This is why
you shouldn't be talking about fisting Max Verstappen's helmet.
Before you get excited, they haven't offered us a show car. But we have had an answer to your question from last week about whether or not they actually drive anywhere and whether they've got an engine, etc.
Yep.
Unfortunately, no. They don't have an engine. There's no gearbox, drive shaft, or any of the other technical bits. So you could put an engine in it, but it would require a significant rebuild, plus sourcing your own engine if you had any motivation of driving it. But it's not impossible, which is good to hear.
I like it.
And perhaps more excitingly for us, you can get custom liveries, and they have done custom liveries before. So, assuming that our fundraising efforts and our crowdsourcing to get the official Lap 1 car is successful, which it will be, everyone will chip in a tenner, we need to start thinking about what we would like a lap down livery to look like. What goes on a lap down livery? Because I feel like as sort of the semi-official paint pod of Formula One, there's a lot of pressure on that livery. A lot of pressure.
It feels like something we need to nail, doesn't it?
Yes. Otherwise we'll get criticised.
It feels like, we would be open to critique if we didn't quite get this right. I mean, the obvious here is going to be a lot of blue.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an F1 livery, so of course it's going to be a lot of blue. It's an F1 livery, Dad.
But we're also a lap down.
We are.
I kind of feel like we lean towards the blueness. If we suddenly went green, I think we'd have to rename the entire podcast, and that would take the whole case of about 15 seconds to sign into the different accounts to change things up a little bit. So it probably wouldn't be worth it. So we'd probably have to go blue. I'd quite like yellow, because I think yellow indicates safety cars, which might lead us to being a lap down, which leads us into the main color of the car being blue.
Perfect. Lock it in. Make it happen. I mean, we need to afford the car first. So we are slightly getting ahead of ourselves, possibly. I don't even know if we can afford the paint. I feel like, I mean, if you've seen how much that tape is they put on it, it's like a silly, airplane grade.
Oh no, it's
tape
just got to B&Q.
And just spray it. Yeah.
Well, the point that you can't move it, it doesn't need to be aerodynamic, does it?
Fair. Does spray paint stick to carbon fiber? Carbon fiber.
Maybe. Who knows?
We'll find out.
There is quite literally only one way to find out.
Yeah. We'll just break in and do it. Perfect. Yeah. They won't know it's us.
Yeah. No, we can just, if we try orange as well, we can blame it on Just Stop Oil or something.
Fair. Makes sense to me. Right, should we do some super picking?
Yes, I think we should. I don't know. Have we had any in from the team radios?
We haven't had super picking picks yet this week, I don't believe.
Okay. Well, I think it's Dan 2 and Rosie that are obligated to provide their super picks ahead of the Miami Grand Prix. I don't know really as to who had the first pick and who had the last pick last time. So why don't you take it away and give us who you're super picking for the Miami Grand Prix?
Now, I've got to make some moves because I am behind in this by a distance and I haven't really had a good weekend yet. So being that it's a sprinter and assuming that a lot of the other catch-ups haven't happened yet, I think I need to go bold. And I think I need to lock some points in. I did briefly go, do I try and be clever and try and keep one of the sort of teal greens up my sleeve? But I don't think I can. I think I've got to get points on the board. I think it's a teal deployment weekend. And I think I just need to go Jorge. I'm not going to go the championship leader. I'm just going to go Jorge Russell. I just think Kimi in the wet, if it is wet, feels more prone to an error to me. I still think the Mercedes will be quicker this weekend. I think George has had a couple of off weekends. It's a bounce back. Maximum points, please. George.
Nice. Strong. And I can't criticize the tactics behind that. I think that is good post reg change super picking that you've gone through there. I think that's good. I was kind of thinking the same, really, with Antonelli. He's the only kind of teal green Mercedes guy that I've got left because I use Russell in China. But the weather upsets me. The weather upsets me in Miami. So
Scatties.
Yeah, I am. I am terrified of thunderstorms, but I don't really know. It feels like if I don't go big dog, This is really hard, you know. But it's sprint weekends. You need the points. You can't.
Sprinty.
You can't use a big dog. You can't not use a big dog on the sprint weekends.
No.
I'm gonna go for Charles Leclerc.
I pondered a Ferrari.
Is what I'm gonna do.
So, I think he would have been my second choice. So I can see that. I can see that working well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, how many points
I'm
behind
going
him?
Charles Leclerc. Why not? Several.
How many points behind? Yeah, I don't want to know the
66
answer,
and a
do I?
half down to 19.
Oh no!
so-
Stop talking! Stop talking! Stop
some.
talking! That's quite enough. That's quite enough. I think that's quite enough. Right then, you got anything else you need to cover before Miami?
Turkey's back.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Turkey's back. So that's on the calendar. Maybe we can talk about that in the next 3 weeks off.
Yeah, we've got another big break after this, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do indeed. Right, I'm done if you're done.
I'm done. Where can they find you on the internet, Daniel?
At Dan Jads on the internet, you can find me do some non-Formula 1 related things. And are you still streaming the video games?
I am still streaming the video games. There's still no F1 in it, and it's still all Beaver related. But you should come and watch me on there at twitch.tv/Hey Look It's Alex. You should send us an email, teamradio@lapdownpod.com. You should go and do Lapdown on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. And you should subscribe and do reviewy things and share it with a friend and all that good stuff. And we will see you next week. Toodle pip.
See ya.